Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Carolyn. Today I'm going to help you all understand what's blocking you from love so that you're able to overcome it. So in this pick a pile reading, we're going to be focusing on what your current block and obstacle is when it comes to love and relationships. And then by understanding what it is, I'll be giving you advice and tools to help you overcome this block. And so this reading will be useful no matter where you're at on your love life journey. So whether if you're single and you're looking to find love, this will help you understand maybe why you haven't been able to do so. And those of you where you are in a committed relationship, this is going to help you learn how to navigate problems and things that you might be projecting onto the relationship to help prevent you from further doing that. And so to help you figure this block out, I have 3 different piles in front of me. You have pile 1 with Moonstone, pile 2 with Bloodstone, and pile 3 with the blue and pink aura quartz. So take a moment and pause the video if you need to meditate. You can always watch more than one pile, just do what feels right for you. Sometimes each pile has its own message, and then by piecing them together, that's going to be the most accurate for you. I want to say if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. I would love to have you part of this family. And if you don't already have that bell notification turned on, definitely go ahead and do that. I post new videos every single week. I do more pick a pile readings like this along with collective readings and past life readings to help you understand yourself better and navigate your life in a more productive way. And I also have educational videos for those of you where you are learning to develop either your psychic abilities or your tarot reading abilities. I have an entire playlist where I teach you the tarot cards by relating them to pop culture. So I take different characters and scenes from TV shows and movies, and I relate the tarot cards to them to help give you a more personalized understanding of the cards. And so I'll have some more of my videos linked in the cards above for you to watch after this one. I also want to add that if this video resonates for you and you want to help support the channel, definitely subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and share with others who need to see it. And if you're able to and you want to leave a donation to the channel, I greatly appreciate that. It allows me to make more content like this for you. And if you want your own personalized in-depth reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop, or you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. And I'll have all the links to contact me in the description box down below. Down there, I'm also going to have the timestamps for each of these piles. So if you are someone where you're drawn to angel numbers, definitely go ahead and look at those numbers and see if any of them are resonating for you to help you decide which pile to pick. Now, for those of you who need a moment to meditate before you pick your pile, definitely take a moment to breathe in and out. And I want you to focus on your heart chakra and take a moment to focus on each pile and the crystal that corresponds with it. And I want you to just sit with that and see how that makes your heart feel. And focus on what feelings it brings up for you, if there's any negative emotions, if there's any happy emotions, and really sit in that feeling for about a minute each. And then after you do that, I want you to take a moment to clear your mind. And I want you to shut your eyes and really focus on yourself. And I want you to go back to thinking about your heart chakra. And once you do that, I want you to ask yourself, what do I need? And then I want you to focus on what emotion this is stirring up for you. So whether it's a song that pops into your head, how does this song make you feel? If it's a quote, how does this quote make you feel? If it's a memory, think about how you feel in the memory. If it's a feeling, I want you to focus on what that feeling is. And then afterwards, I want you to reflect back on the 3 piles and take the emotion that popped into your head that's answering the question of what you need, and I want you to see what pile that you meditated on did that feeling stand out to you. This way you're syncing the feeling of what you truly need with the feelings that the piles brought up for you. And by doing that, that's going to be your energetic connection to that pile, and that's going to be your intuition telling you this is what you need. You might not understand it, but your soul does, and it's reaching out for that pile for a specific reason. And so like I said, the timestamps are going to be in the description box down below, and so once you've done that, you can just skip ahead to your readings. And so with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start off the readings. So those of you who chose pile 1 with Moonstone, I'm going to go ahead and put your crystal off to the side here. So for your cards, you have 29, Lemuria Returns, card 12, The Present, Queen of Pentacles reversed, 3 of Wands, the Tower, King of Swords, Success, Fan, Mountain, Camera, Soulmates, Prosperity, Sisters, or Happiness and Joy, card 36, Magic Happens When You Most Expect It, card 44, and Make a Statement for Your Soul, card 58. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange these cards so you can see them a bit better. So what's blocking you from love? I first want to point out the Queen of Pentacles card because it's reversed. So the Queen of Pentacles represents this energy of love, compassion, nurturing in a very practical way, in a way in which it's sustainable. And so you have that dependability, that reliability in your life. And it feels like right now, part of the block is that that is lacking from your life. So this could have happened either because of the people in your life, you didn't feel that you were nurtured by them, you didn't feel that connection and that compassion from them, and therefore you don't really know how to seek that out with the people you get into relationships with, because it's not something that's very natural to you. You didn't grow up with it. And so this makes it hard when people are trying to show their affection towards you. It makes you feel uncomfortable because it feels like it's almost too much and it's too public and you don't want people to know. And it's like you try and keep the relationship private or secretive, even forms of PDA and nothing excessive, but even like holding hands I think is difficult for you just because you're not a very touchy person. And so I think part of your block is actually showing affection to your partners and receiving that affection and not trying to brush it off or make a joke about it, and not trying to push it away when someone gives it to you. I think it's very difficult for you to receive love when it's in a more serious matter. I think this also could be playing out in the sense where you're looking for people who are emotionally detached, who aren't giving you that nurturing, compassionate love that you deserve. And so you're going for people who are a little bit more flighty, a little bit more indifferent, and who actually don't have that dependability and the reliability you need to make a relationship long term. It feels like you're picking partners and choosing to be in relationships in which you know there's a level of instability in it, in which you're not actually looking at the long-term effect of it, but you're looking at the present moment. And that's where some of this block comes from, because you're not choosing people who are actually going to lead to that relationship status that you want. You're choosing people subconsciously who you know are going to lead, because that comfortability is something that you're so unfamiliar with. It's almost in a sense you don't believe that you deserve to have that compassion in your life. And so that's something you definitely have to take notice of and start working on, because you have the Three of Wands as well, and this also goes to that energy of non-committal. The Three of Wands is an adventure, it's curious, it's trying new things, it's exploration. And so I think it's a lot easier for you to casually date or to go on a lot of dates, but as far as long-term stable relationships, it's not as easy for you, because once you're with someone for so long, that's when you actually get to know one another. And I think that scares you. I definitely get the sense that you are afraid of commitment, and it doesn't mean that you don't want commitment, but it's like you don't know how to handle it. And so I think this causes you to potentially sabotage the relationships in your life. And I think part of your block as well, for those of you where you have been with someone for a long time, is that you don't always treat them the best, or sometimes when you're feeling insecure, you project that onto the relationship and you make your issues their problems, and you end up hurting them that way. And I don't feel like that's intentional on your part. I don't think you want to do it, but it's something you have to be aware of, because I think you've had conversations and potentially arguments about this before. Because you are someone where that commitment, that compassion scares you, it's hard for you to not cause any issues in the relationship, because it's almost like you rather have an issue and deal with that and put your energy towards that than to have things going really well and have to be like super cute and have to be open about your feelings. It's almost like you need those distractions to make it where you don't feel so uncomfortable. And I think that's because you never really took time to unlearn the patterns of behavior you have done that makes you afraid of commitment and afraid of being that close with one another. You have the King of Swords as well. And so this also tells me that sometimes you will pick people wanting it to intentionally fail by picking someone who you feel is a little bit smarter than you or a little bit more mature than you. And so you know right away that you're not really the best compatible wise, and you're hoping that it eventually leads to them breaking things off with you or you going your separate ways. But it's like, this isn't something that's conscious. You're not going into these relationships hoping for them to fail, but I think that is what happens majority of the time, because you set yourself up for failure, not because they are smarter than you or not because they are better than you, but because you go in with that complex and then you project that onto the relationship. And so it's almost like you make it where this partner, this person of yours can never win, because no matter what they say to you, it's not going to make you believe them any less. Like, this person could think that you're the best person on earth and they truly love you, they truly care about you, but you're going to have your own insecurity that they're making it up, that it's a lie. And so there's no way for them to win with that. And so I would also suggest, for those of you where you're looking to bring commitment into your life, if you are with someone where you have those feelings of insecurity, find a way to dismantle them within yourself, because it's nothing that your partner can do to change how you feel about this situation. You have to unlearn the way that your brain has processed things and allow yourself to go back and start to heal the inner wounds that have been left by this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Because it really feels to me your blocks stem from the fact that it's hard for you to be very vulnerable and open with people, and even though that's your goal, you don't really know how to do that. And so to compensate for that, that makes it where you then pick people that you think it's not going to work out with, so you never have to reach that level of vulnerability with them. And so this all goes back to you needing to learn how to be more vulnerable, and that starts by you being vulnerable with yourself. So I would really suggest journaling, doing inner reflections, even meditations, but really taking time to get to know you. Because I also want to point out, you have success, fan, and mountain. So you're going to be successful with this. You do have the ability to unblock this and unlearn this. And the fan is representing romance coming into your life. And so when you do this, it's going to allow you to attract the type of people you want in your life and form the better, healthier, long-lasting connections that you desire. But you have mountain, major challenge to overcome. So this is something that you can overcome. You have the Tower card for a reason, and the Tower is about dismantling things, taking down what is not good anymore, what is going to fall apart, so you can rebuild. That's what you have to do with this block. You have to rebuild your framework of how you look at relationships and intimacy. I also get the sense some of you, with Lemuria returns in the present moment, some of you are pregnant or you have children, and I think you need to be cautious with this, because I think some of you have a tendency to use your children as a way to heal you and heal these inner wounds that are addressed with the Queen of Pentacles reversed. And this is creating an energy in which you're a little bit too dependent, too reliant on your kids to heal you. And I think you put too much responsibility onto them instead of making that internal and fixing it for yourself. I also think sometimes you think that your children are going to fix these relationships and make this person commit to you, and that's not really true. And so I think you get yourself into some problems where you have kids and you put too many unrealistic expectations onto it, and that's not a healthy mindset to go into having children with. And so that's also what's blocking you from love, is that you're not healing it in the proper way. You're not rerouting it back to you. You're kind of putting it on other people. Like, you think that your partner should be able to make these insecurities go away. You think your children can heal these inner wounds, and that's simply not true. That's why you really have to rebuild your entire framework on how you look at love and your own responsibility of being vulnerable and opening up to people. And that's where you have to make a mission statement for your soul. You have to start doing things that are within your control, not putting them on other people. When it comes to your blocks for your love life, this all stems from you and the way that you view your own worthiness, your own self-love, and your own self-respect. And so you need to figure out a mindset that works for you in order to heal this. I would really recommend for some of you to say words of affirmations and have some sort of mantra that fits with your goals for your love life, that you can start to do to not only help you build healthier relationships with others, but also build a healthier relationship internally. Because prosperity sisters are happiness and joy. It feels to me right now that you don't really focus on your own happiness, your own joy. You kind of follow what people tell you it's going to be, and you kind of allow yourself to fall into line with what you think you need, instead of taking a moment to be like, what makes me happy? Who do I truly want? Who would be the best person that would make me happy? Because what you want and what someone else in your life wants is not going to be the same type of person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has different preferences, but you have to know what they are. That's part of the issue that's blocking your love life too, is you're looking for love with people that simply aren't your type, or they're people that you don't really have a true connection with. You're using them because you want the relationship to fail. And magic happens when you most expect it. A lot of you're going into things expecting for things to not work. You're expecting them to fail. And so that's a self-fulfilling prophecy of what happens. And that's, again, why I keep going back to, you have to change the type of people that you're looking for, that you're going out with, and allow yourself to actually think about the long-term success with these people in order to change that in the present moment. Because this isn't going to happen if you continue to just explore options without thinking them through. Obviously, you can always take a chance on someone. There's nothing wrong even if you want to go on a blind date with someone, but be realistic about how far you pursue that relationship once you have gotten to know them better. It's okay to take a chance on someone, but after the second date, you kind of know how you feel about that person. And so if it's either something where they're incompatible, where you two have two different lifestyles, or it's something where you know that you're going to be too insecure, too jealous, or if it's a situation that you know that you're not really vibing with them, you need to take it upon yourself to not pursue things anymore. You keep staying in situations hoping for it to change because you want to explore it and see where it goes, but it keeps on going to these dead ends. And then for those of you where you find someone really great, they want to show love, they want to be compassionate and affectionate towards you, and you don't expect that. And then there's this disconnect of what you're both expecting from the relationship. And that's where you have to be more upfront with how you value intimacy and how much you can open up to someone. Because there's going to be people where they don't mind that you might be a little bit more closed off and more guarded, but that's going to be different for each person. And I think your thing is you keep everything bottled up. You don't even let this person know this is how you are. And so that's where there is this disconnect as well. And that's where a lot of things don't end up working out the way that you hope they do, because you're not focusing on accepting where you're at and then working on changing things from there. It's almost like you keep sweeping things under the rug and you keep trying to find external ways to change you instead of changing yourself internally. And I think a lot of you with the soulmates card here and camera, you have met your soulmate. You're either with them, or this is a past relation or a past friendship that never was able to be fully developed yet. But I think if you start to look at the way that you're vulnerable with people and your own guards and allowing yourself to learn how to let them go, and you start to be more realistic with the people that you say yes to and you continue to pursue things with, where you're not just dating people for the sake of it, but you're dating for the purpose of what you want out of your life, I think you're going to actually be thinking about this person a lot if you're not currently with them, and you're going to be able to learn from the past and make new memories as a result of it. I really feel like this block with your love is not permanent. You're not doomed to be alone. I think you're going to be able to dismantle it. It's just going to take effort, but you're going to be successful. That's what these cards are telling me right now, is that this is all within your power to change. This is a block, and it has to do with a lot of internal things that you have been running from that you never actually healed, but now you're learning from it. Now you're aware of it, and now you can solve it. And that's where you're going to find your soulmate. You're going to be able to have this person who really gets you, who understands you. And that's what you also have to remember when it comes to these insecurities that you have. There's nothing wrong with the way that you feel about being vulnerable with one another. You just have to look for people who are okay with that. Right now you're looking for people who are incompatible with you, because there's this level of self-sabotage. That's what you need to remove. It's okay for you to not be that comfortable being vulnerable. Not everyone is, but you have to find a partner who understands that, who respects that, and who still loves you for that. With the King of Swords here, this is someone where they're strategic, and so your person ultimately will be able to accept you for who you are, because that's what makes them attracted to you. That's what makes them love you. But it's hard for you to understand that because you have so many insecurities with yourself right now on why you're deserving love, and that's what truly needs to be solved. You need to understand that you are worthy of love. And for those of you where you don't have the best relationship with your mother, it's almost like you need to reparent yourself, remother yourself. Allow yourself to find that love that you never got from her, because it definitely feels like there's a piece missing here that you're trying to find in others, but you're finding it in the wrong ways instead of healing it for yourself. And so your biggest block when it comes to your love life is your mindset, because of these inner wounds, where you need to teach yourself how to love yourself, how to accept yourself. Because until you do that, it's going to be very difficult for you to pick genuine people. You're chasing after people who are saying one thing but not actually following it up with action, whereas you need to be paying attention to the people who are action based. And so I would also recommend, while you explore this self-love journey and starting to get a better understanding of who you are and accepting who you are and loving yourself, I would also look at your past and see what relationships have left you feeling hurt, feeling betrayed, feeling insecure, and going back, retracing the steps all the way to your childhood, see where it truly is stemming from, but then also find ways to heal all of those memories that you're tracing back, where you're giving yourself closure to move on. So this isn't always where you're getting complete answers that is giving you complete closure over it, but enough where you can move on and say, you know what, that's closed, and while it might not be everything, it's enough for me. And allowing yourself to not keep reopening those doors to those wounds, because that's only hurting you more, especially if this is something in which there's a lot of negative emotions for. I think some of you, like when it comes to your past relationships, if someone really hurt you, it's like you keep thinking back to, why did they do that? Why wasn't I worthy? What did I do wrong? And it's like you're placing this internal blame on yourself. And it's like you just need to board that door up and say, I've tried to learn from it as best as I can. And now I'm no longer getting anything that's beneficial to me and understanding some things I need to work on. Now I'm just being overly critical of myself. So I can't keep thinking that way. I need to just let it go and accept that I'm never going to know what truly happened there. Because there's a difference between saying, you know what, I did this wrong, and now moving into relationships, I'm not going to always try and fight with someone, versus blaming yourself for something that simply wasn't your fault. And that's where the disconnect is right now. You keep forcing yourself to analyze things that were outside your control. And so you need to stop that. And so your biggest block when it comes to your love life is that you need to change your mindset, because you don't feel worthy of love. And if you don't feel worthy of love, you're not going to pick people who can change that for you, who can fix that for you. And so in order for you to start getting into the healthier relationships that you want, you need to start to find ways to love yourself, to treat yourself better, and at least feel a little bit more worthy of love. And for those of you where you're in a committed relationship, you need to find ways to love yourself so that you don't project any of your insecurities onto the relationship, and you can actually start to build a healthier dynamic between you two, where you're not trying to push them away so that they aren't getting vulnerable with you and they're not being intimate with you. Because it definitely feels like you try and keep this person at an arm's length away, even though you don't intend to, you truly love them, you don't know how to be that close with them. And so it will only improve the relationship if you start to feel better about yourself. And for those of you who feel like you have a lot of self-love, focus on what makes it hard for you to be vulnerable, either with your partner, or what makes it hard for you to be vulnerable when talking about your relationship and being vulnerable with others. Because it definitely feels like there's some aspect of this relationship that you like to keep at a distance because it's hard for you to allow people in. And so definitely start focusing on that avenue of your life and seeing where that stems from so that you can work on it. Because by allowing more people to see that you are in this loving relationship, and by allowing your partner to feel like you truly love them, that's going to help this relationship progress even more as well. And so I'm really sending you all so much love as you work on your self-love journey, because I know it's something that's difficult to do, and I'm really just supporting you this entire way. So I hope this resonates for you. If it did, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family. I'm going to have more of my videos linked in the cards above for you to watch next. And if you want to leave a donation if this video resonated, I greatly appreciate that. Or if you want to purchase your own reading, you can either purchase one on Etsy, or you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Every way to contact me is going to be in the description box down below, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye. So those of you who chose Bloodstone, I'm going to put your crystal off to the side here. So for your cards, you have card 11, Sacrifice, 8 of Pentacles, the Sun reversed, 2 of Cups reversed, 5 of Swords, Paradise, Firecracker, Excitement, Nourish the Sacred Feminine, card 18, and Stop, Drop, and Ground, card 31. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange these cards so you can see them a bit better. So what's blocking you when it comes to love? You have the 8 of Pentacles. This means that you are someone where you are a hard worker, you're going for what you want, you're determined, and you're going to do whatever it takes. But when we look at this from what's blocking you, it feels like you're focusing too much energy on making your relationships feel like work. You're spending too much time either being overly analytical of them and removing your emotions from them, in which you are not thinking in a realistic way when it comes to your love life. Because yes, as humans, like, we need to use logic, but sometimes there's just feelings, and if you are trying to problem solve everything in the most logical way, that can end up creating a separation between you and your partner, because you're disconnected from your motivations of how to solve a problem. And so it feels like there's this disconnect where you're trying to look at things very black and white, and you're not looking at the nuances of the situation. It also means that you have a tendency when it comes to your love life to feel like it has to be work. So you need a problem to solve. And so it's like you're always fixing it. You're always trying to improve something. You're always doing something, and you can't just sit with it. You can't just be. It can't just exist. And so therefore, subconsciously or consciously, you go out and you create problems within your relationship to solve. And that's why you have the Sun reversed and the Two of Cups reversed, because there's this energy in which like you can be happy, you can have this paradise, but you're not able to enjoy it, and therefore you don't allow yourself to have it. The Five of Swords here depicts an energy of needing to learn how to disagree. And if we look at the image here, it's this person where it's like you have what you want, but at the sacrifice of another person, and having to allow yourself to manipulate and play these games in order to get the satisfaction and the victory that you want. And so it's like, yes, you got a victory, but there were so many things that you had to do in order to get it. It was a lot of work, it was a lot of energy, it's a lot of time that's potentially wasted, and a lot of things that you're sacrificing in order to get this relationship to the place that you want it to be. So your block when it comes to your love life, where either you're chasing people who are not actually interested in you, or you're chasing people where you're not actually able to be with them, or if you're in a relationship, there's a tendency to create problems. But it all comes down to this idea you have that in order for you to feel like this is true love, it's like you got to earn it, you got to fight for it, you have to sacrifice stuff to get it. I feel like a lot of you, it's like you're struggling to balance your work life, your career with your love life. It's like you feel like the two can't coexist. And so it's like you're putting in so much effort to make your relationships work, but you're doing it in a way that's actually self-sabotaging them. Because it's like for you with this firecracker, you need this excitement. And so you need this challenge, you need this problem. And I think you're losing perspective of what the relationship's supposed to bring to your life. The relationship overall is supposed to make your life happier. It's supposed to make your life easier. Now, you might face challenges as a couple or as a relationship that is challenging that you have to solve. But that shouldn't be the main thing about your relationship when you think about it. That should be something that's a factor. Everything in life has obstacles, but the benefits need to outweigh it. And I think you create a system in which you have more drama, more conflict, more issues, more chase, more lust than you do love and happiness. And that's where you need to stop, drop, and ground. You need to allow yourself to actually let things grow, let them cultivate without you watching them, without you trying to fix them, without you trying to solve things, without you starting a fight to then solve. And so it feels like in order for your love life to be unblocked, in order for you to achieve the goals you want with it, you need to find a way to not keep fanning the flames of a situation that doesn't need to grow, that doesn't need to become more than what it is. And so for those of you where you're single and you feel like you're not manifesting good people, or you feel like you're constantly having crushes on people but you're not actually able to manifest a relationship, I need you to take a moment to look at the people that you're trying to go after and see what is attracting you to them. Because I think a lot of the people that you're attracted to, you're purposely attracted to them because you feel like it's difficult to get them. Some of you, I get the sense it's like you pine after people who are already in relationships, who already have someone in their life, and it's like you don't care because you want that challenge. You want to have to work and earn this relationship. It also feels like outside of your block with your love life, you just have this complex in which you don't feel like anything can be easy for you. You feel like you have to always earn something, you have to always work for it. And I think that you have some sort of inner wound in which you correlate success and you correlate worthiness with sacrifice, with pain, with struggle. And so it's difficult for you to not have to struggle for things, to let things come naturally to you, because that makes you uncomfortable. Because to you, when something comes naturally or when it's easy, it makes you feel like you didn't earn it and therefore it can be taken away. That's why you're chasing after these people who are a challenge, because you think that if you get these people and it's this challenge, then you earned it and they're not going to leave you. And so it's almost like you have this anxious attachment style that you're then trying to overcompensate for. And while it makes sense to your psyche, that's not how things work. In reality, it can be a challenge to get someone, the relationship might be hard, and the relationship can end in a month, it can end in a year, it can end short term. And it's also possible that someone can meet someone due to happenstance, and it can be a very easy relationship and it lasts their entire lives. There's no guarantee when it comes to love. And so the way that the relationship is and the way that you earn that love, I'm using quotation marks when I say that, doesn't really give you any proof to how long lasting the relationship will be. That all comes down to the two of you, your dynamic together, and what you agree to, how hard you work in the relationship when you do face the challenges. But it's not just solely that, and more challenges doesn't mean more success. And honestly, with the way that you create challenges, it might actually be creating more stress and strain on the relationship, which makes it where it's not actually sustainable. It makes it where you either go through these breakups or the relationships never progress to the point that you want them to be, because you can't actually secure anyone. It's like you're always chasing after them, you're always trying to solve the problem, but yet you can't be together. And so you need to learn to accept love into your life, because you're constantly chasing it, but you need the challenge in order to feel worthy. And what this is telling you, you need to let go of the challenge. Sometimes accept something that's being given to you. You have nourished the sacred feminine. And so that feminine energy is the caretaker, it's the nurturer. And sometimes when you are putting your all into something and you're taking care of something like a mother does with her child, it's very easy for them to neglect themselves and to not pay attention to what they need. And it's hard for them to accept help because they're trying to be there so much for someone else. And so when it talks about nurturing the sacred feminine, this is about you nurturing yourself and allowing yourself to receive things that are being offered to you, allowing yourself to be receptive without arguing, without negating, without promising to do something in return. And so when it comes to your love life, you're so blocked because you're very much in that masculine energy of taking action, of fixing things, of solving them, of achieving them, of manifesting, of getting it. And you're not allowing your own feminine energy to thrive because you're so caught up in everything you feel like you need to do and everything you need to sacrifice that you're not allowing yourself to just accept the paradise and be happy with where you're at and accept the things that are coming into your life. To me, it feels like your block right now is if you had two options in front of you, both of them were about potential relationships. And there was one where it's this very happy, loving, caring person, but it's a very easy relationship, not really any problems, versus someone where maybe they still love you the same, but there's a lot more challenges, a lot more hardships, and a lot more conflict between you two. I feel like you would pick that person because you think that's more interesting, instead of picking the option that might make your life easier, that might be better suited, especially given the fact that they both love you the same, and that in this analogy, you would care about them both the same. It's like literally if you had the two different parallel universes of the same person, you're going to choose the one that's harder because in your mind you equate that with being better. Because it's almost like it's more productive. And I think that's where you lose yourself. You're so caught up with being productive, with growing, with allowing yourself to work for what you get. And you're not realizing that when it comes to love, that's not work. That's not responsibility. I mean, sometimes it is, but that shouldn't be what it's based on. And so it's almost like when it comes to your love life, you get so caught up in everything that needs to be done and everything to do and everything to improve and fix and nitpick that you actually lose sight of the emotional connection within the relationship. And I think for those of you where you have been with someone, a lot of your challenges come down with this Five of Swords here to the fact that they think that you're a little bit overly critical, a little harsh with them. And you two don't agree eye to eye on things because most people in relationships, they want peace. You want victory because you want the challenge. And so instead of agreeing to disagree or agreeing to circle back on this or agreeing to a compromise, you want it to be your way and you want to keep arguing that because for you, you think that's fun, because for you, you think that's what the relationship is, and it's not. And I think some of you, part of this actual challenge could be that you're letting your work come between you and your person or between you and your love life. But it's like there's this disconnect from your actual emotional connection to the way that you carry yourself, the way that you act, the things that you do, the way you treat this person. And it all stems to the fact that you're afraid for things to be easy for you. I think there also could be like an inner wound, when you were growing up where something was easy for you and it ended up being taken away from you. You ended up losing it. And then when you worked hard for things, you didn't have that same response. And so your mind has correlated working hard with guaranteed success and easy with being taken away and losing. And that's not necessarily true, but that's what your mind has perceived. And so that's what's blocking you from love, is that you're actually fighting against it and trying to overcomplicate things, because that's what you have taught yourself to believe is true, and that's what you think love is. And so that's really what you need to work on. So I would suggest for you to overcome this block, to really start accepting and acknowledging your own inner feelings, understanding where they stem from, and also being a lot more mindful of your actions, the words that you're saying, making sure you're not getting into fights with people, to make sure that you are trying to keep the relationship as easy as you can, while still standing up for yourself if there's an actual issue you need to address, but making sure that you're not just poking issues into the relationship just for the sake of it, making sure there's actual merit to it. And then when it comes to people that you're interested in dating, I want you to really reflect on what makes you attracted to them, and if this is actually someone that you could end up dating. See what's standing in the way of this relationship, and if it's actually practical to have this crush or not. Now, you can have crushes on people still without acting, but if it's not practical, allow yourself to accept it and allow yourself to still feel your feelings, but don't be so consumed by them that you really are trying to pursue it past a reasonable amount. Like, shoot your shot, but then move on. Don't keep going after it if it's not worth it. And so it just feels like there's a lot more mindfulness that you need to have in your life right now, and allow yourself to learn how to accept things and learn that things don't need to be difficult. You deserve this paradise. You deserve this happiness, this love with someone else, and you need to be able to turn these two cards upright, because you literally have the Sun and the Two of Cups. So this is happiness, joy, easiness, optimism. And Two of Cups, soulmate, connection, love, compassion, that relationship you want. They're reversed. You can turn them upright, but you need to allow yourself to feel like you're deserving of it, and that it's okay for things to not always be as complicated as you make them out to be. That's the biggest thing that's holding you back, is that you're making things worse than they need to be. You don't know when to let things go. You don't know when to walk away. You don't know when to give up on someone or on a situation, because you live for that challenge. But because you do, that's what's actually hindering your chances of having the success in your relationships that you want. And like I said, for those of you where you're in a relationship, it feels like you're creating unnecessary problems. So you really need to be mindful not to do that in order to help you to grow closer together, because I think it is keeping you two apart, because eventually everyone can only take so much before they ultimately end up walking away. And so it's like you're straining the relationship when that's not your goal. I don't think this is malicious. I don't think you want to hurt the person that you care about. I just think it happens and you don't know how to control it. So you've got to be more mindful, because that's your biggest block. And once you do that, you'll realize that manifesting isn't as difficult as you think. It's just you think it has to be difficult. But I think you're gonna see that when it comes to your love life, once you remove this block and this expectation of what it has to be, things are gonna come into your life easier, and it's actually going to make your life easier. And you're going to learn that that's not a bad thing. That's actually a very good thing, and is going to allow you to get this paradise that you deserve. And so I hope this resonates for you. If it did, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you part of this family, and I'm going to have other videos of mine linked in the cards above for you to watch next. Also, if this resonates and you want to leave a donation, that's greatly appreciated. Or if you want to purchase your own reading, you can do so at my Etsy shop, or you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Every way to contact me is going to be in the description box down below. And I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye. So for those of you who chose the blue and pink Aura Quartz, I'm going to put your crystal off to the side here. For your cards, you have card 19, Atlantis, 9 of Swords, the Emperor, the Empress, Knight of Wands, the Distraction of Shiny Things, card 15, Girl Talk, Gong, an exciting event, and Candle, you will be shown the way. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange these cards so you can see them better. So when it comes to what's blocking your love life, you have the Nine of Swords. This indicates to me there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of insecurity that holds you back from your love life, that makes you overthink all the actions you're going to take when you are with someone in a relationship. It's like you overthink what you should do, what's appropriate. And so it feels like there's just a lot of pressure that you place on yourself, and you don't know how to cope with it. You don't know what to do. And so it just festers inside of you. And I think this makes it where it's hard for you to talk about heavy topics. It's hard for you to communicate properly because you have so much fear about ruining things or hurting things, sabotaging things, that you internalize it all and you take on that responsibility yourself instead of sharing it with your partner. You have the Emperor and the Empress, but then you have the Knight of Wands. So it's like you have this power couple dynamic, and then you have someone running in, breaking it up. And so there's this disconnect between having this partnership that you desire, but yet having someone else or something else get in the way. And so because you do have a tendency to overthink things, it makes me feel like you go for things that you don't necessarily want, but that you think creates a perfect dynamic, that everyone agrees for you, that everyone supports for you. Because with girl talk here, you take the opinion of your family members and your friends in your life to be very important for you. And I think it influences your love life, not even just in the type of people you date, but I think it also will affect who you date. How they physically look, what their attributes are, what their characteristics are, what their job is. Some of you, even with your sexual orientation, you have been so afraid to explore that side of you and figure out who you're really attracted to because of the people in your life. And that's where you have the distraction of shiny things. It's almost like you're taking so many people's opinions on who you should be, who you should like, who you should go for, and what your relationship should be, that you chase after these ideals. But then you have all these internal fears and insecurities because they're not necessarily what you want. It's like sleeping on a bed of swords. You're making yourself uncomfortable for the expense of everyone else. And some of you, where you're in relationships, you're making yourself uncomfortable because you're trying to spare your partner's feelings, or you don't want to have this discussion with them. And so instead of actually sharing the burdens with one another and finding a solution, you're taking it on all yourself. And that's what your block with your love life is that you are putting too much pressure on yourself, and you're hindering yourself by not sharing this, by not being open, by not being willing to take a risk and see what happens and let it play out. You just bottle everything away, and that is not sustainable. And that's where this Atlantis card is. It talks about rapid development. And so it almost feels to me like when you shove everything inside a bottle, eventually it's gonna pop. And I feel like that's what's going on now. These blocks are starting to fester. They're starting to spill out. And that's where like you want to talk about them, but you don't exactly know how. And I feel like with the Knight of Wands, in order to heal this block, you might need to learn your own lesson by allowing yourself to explore these sides of you that you never have, especially in terms of your love life. I think some of you, like, this could be like religious blocks too. And I feel like you're trying to either stay with someone or find someone who fits specific parameters that everyone has convinced you that you're going to love, that you need in order to have this stable life. And I just feel in order for you to actually be happy with whoever you end up with, you need to have kind of your rebellious phase now. You need to figure out who you actually like, who you want to be with. And for those of you where you're in a relationship, I do think you need to consider, why are you with this person, and figure out if they are genuinely someone you want to be with, if you're happy with your life, or if they're not. And if they're not, and like if you've been having issues about like wanting to break up, or like feeling like insecure to the point where you actually could see yourself breaking up with them, it might be time to do so. Obviously that's not going to be for everyone, just take it how it resonates. But there is this energy that you need to be confident in your choice. And I feel like with your love life, you're blocked because you're not confident with your choices. And that's because you're not dating who you want to date. You're not acting how you want to act in a relationship. You're not being authentic, straight up. You are putting on this mask for everyone in your life. You're putting on this mask for yourself and for your partner. And instead of talking about things, addressing them, and letting this person accept you for who you are, you're conforming yourself to fit this mold that you think they want. And so for those of you where you're in a relationship and you want to be with them, you need to start being authentic. And remember that your person's going to love you. And so they want you to be able to express yourself. They don't want you to feel like you're holding these things in all the time. And that's where your block with this relationship is. They want to get close to you. They want you to communicate with them. You just feel like you can't. And so you definitely need to figure out what internally makes you hold on to these fears and insecurities and anxieties about the relationship that you feel like you can't share with them. Because when someone truly cares about you, they're going to listen, and they're going to help explain to you why those things aren't true, why they're not valid. And so it's like you can have this partnership, but you have to make sure that this partnership stems from a place of genuine desire, genuine want. It can't be something that other people have talked you into. And I think once you start to be authentic and be yourself around the people that you date and go and date the types of people that you want, and you figure that out. And for those of you where you don't know that yet, that's okay. You can take time to figure it out. But I feel like once you do that, I feel like you're going to see that it's not that hard, that a lot of the challenges are things that you had done unknowingly because you were going after the people that you weren't really compatible with. And with Candle, it says you will be shown the way. And what I see is this Knight of Wands literally like she's holding the fire here and she's riding a horse. So this could mean that you are going to be compatible with someone with a lot of fire in their chart. So that's going to be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. But I think what this also means is that by embodying the Wands energy in your own life, by being authentic, by being yourself. And basically the Knight of Wands is this energy in which you are focused on your creativity, your passions, your desires. You're acting on what you want and what kind of your purpose is, even if you don't fully know it, and you're going after it with a little bit of a plan. It's not like you're completely winging it, but you also don't have all the details sorted out. So it's like you know where you're going, you don't know how you're going to get there. And I think that's kind of what has to go on with your love life, and you just have to start having confidence in yourself that you're going to get there. Because right now you second guess yourself, you doubt yourself so much, and I think you just need to focus on you're going to have a healthy, happy relationship with someone that you really care about. And you don't have to worry about who they are, what it's going to be like, how you're going to meet. Like, you don't have to plan all those steps out. Just believe that's the end result you're going to get. And then just start acting based on what you feel in the moment, who you feel like you're attracted to, who you want to pursue things with, and just trust your instincts. And that's where you're going to have the rapid development, the success that you want when it comes to your love life, because you're leading yourself towards the right way. Your intuition knows where to go. And so you need to start paying attention to that, because your block isn't that difficult to dismantle. You just need to allow yourself the room to free yourself and stop distracting yourself with shiny things. Just because someone says it's really great doesn't mean it's going to be really great for you. That's where the confusion lies. Stop talking to your friends and your family about your love life. It's not really any of their business, and for you personally, it's not helping you make a decision. You can let them know, like, once you start seeing someone and it's serious. But when it's new, try and keep that private. Obviously, you can tell some people, but try not to tell everyone, because then everyone has an opinion, and I just feel like that is what blocks you. You let people get in your own head, and you don't need it, because you're going to find your counterpart. And once you find your counterpart, you don't need everyone else's opinion. It doesn't matter. You're a team. You're a unit. And so this means, for those of you where you're looking for love and relationships, stop pretending you're someone that you're not. Stop trying to embody whoever you think they want. You're chasing the wrong people by doing that. Some of the worst people out there are in functional relationships for them, because they found someone that accepts them authentically. So if they can do it, you can do it. And so you need to stop convincing yourself that no one's going to love you, no one's going to want you, and you have to conform, otherwise you're going to be alone forever, because that's simply not true. Because I guarantee you're not as bad as some people out there who have someone who is infatuated with them, who loves them and is crazy about them. So if they can do it, you can do it. And if that's the affirmation you need to tell yourself in the morning, go ahead and do that, because you need to build up your confidence. That's what's blocking your love life. You're not confident in yourself. And so because you're not confident in yourself, you feel you need to hide who you are. And you also feel like people will judge you for who you want to be with. And so you need to be able to find a way to release those fears, release those doubts. Even if it's like faking it until you make it, and you just force yourself to be authentic, eventually you're going to do it for so long that it's going to feel like second nature. So if you're not confident right now, that's okay. Just be mindful to be authentic. Start doing things that are in alignment for what you genuinely want, even if you are afraid of the backlash. Because there's no way to make that fear go away until you simply do it. Kind of like exposure therapy in an internal way. Just allow people to know who you are straight up. So if there's something that you're embarrassed about, don't be afraid to tell someone that when it's appropriate. Some of you, maybe you're ashamed about your job. Be open with what you do for a living on the first or the second date. Let them know. Don't hide it. Don't change parts of yourself. If there's like a personality trait about you that you think is off-putting to others, let them know. Because if it truly is off-putting, then let them walk out the door. Someone else will come in who's going to love that about you. And for those of you who are single, don't be afraid to date all different types of people, to see what your type actually is, to figure out who you want to date, who you're the most compatible with. Because I think you put yourself in a box with certain people that you can date and certain people that you can't date. And that's not necessarily what's going to make you happy. And so you got to figure that out for yourself. But that's really your biggest block right now, is just that you are not authentic. You're not dating authentically. You're not searching for people who make you feel like you can be yourself and make you feel comfortable. And for those of you who are in a healthy relationship, you're still putting yourself into that box that they've never actually been put in. And so you're hurting yourself for something that they don't even realize that you're doing, or they don't want you to do. And so you have to find a way to release yourself and free yourself from that internal box you put yourself in, so that the relationship can be fully developed and you can both feel like you are yourselves in the relationship, because you both deserve to feel comfortable. And so really, I'm just sending you all so much support as you try and build your confidence and become more authentic. That's really going to help you manifest what you want out of love. And so I hope this resonates for all of you. If it did, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family, and turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I'm going to have more of my videos linked in the cards above for you to watch next. And if you want to leave a donation if this video resonated, I greatly appreciate that. Or if you want to purchase your own reading, you can either purchase one on Etsy, or you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Every way to contact me is going to be in the description box down below, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye.